What's up, everybody? Ben here with the PointByPatrol. I did want to shoot a quick video just to talk about basic track prep for your FL5 Civic Type R. This may even carry over to some of the FK8 owners. Wanted to also talk about basic track essentials, as well as takeaways from my experience at Carolina Motorsports Park, which was just yesterday and the day before. And a small product review of some of the things that I placed on the car. So we'll go ahead and get started. First and foremost, and say it with me, I will not track my car on factory brake fluid. There was another gentleman out there with an FL5. He was on the factory brake fluid and things did not go well for him. He did completely lose his pedal while on track and had to pit because of it. So that took away from his time out on track, where he could have been out there, learning the line, the braking zones, things of that nature. All of that time that you spend on track is valuable time. What I use personally on this vehicle is Motul RBF 660. Another thing, check your coolant level, make sure it's full. Check your oil, make sure it's full. As you can see here, I've wrapped some of my water lines as well as the line here with DEI Velcro wrap, so this is simply Velcroed on. I also have a Hell oil cooler. It's probably difficult to see down there. That's where one of the lines is, as well as right here. And I've also upgraded with a PRL intercooler. Obviously, those things aren't absolutely necessary as far as track prep go, but it made sense to me to ensure that I kept the oil temperature in check, despite the fact that that may not have happened. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Another very important thing, and I'll go ahead and let you guys know, I did overheat. I had the warning light come up on the dash. It was an oh shit moment. It went fairly unnoticed because I did not have log R on because I had accidentally hit a button on my steering wheel, and with my racing gloves on I could not reactivate log R, and I just simply kept on pushing on, which I should not have done. Remove this panel. Absolutely crucial that you remove this panel. When I overheated, this was still installed. After I had removed it, I did not experience high coolant temperatures like I had prior. Another very, very, very important thing, even if you're running factory brake calipers, is to put a set of track pads on the car. Do not go out there with stock pads. You're going to wear through them in a heartbeat. They also don't have the same bite modulation that you'll find on track pads. So you'll see here I have an AP Racing big brake kit fitted to the vehicle. You can see how much heat, and this is from one track session. These were brand new. See how much heat and the heat checks and even the grooves that are in these. They're doing a lot of work for you. One of the biggest safety items on track is to make sure that you have good brakes as well as good tires. Now, these are not my track tires. In fact, these are my track tires. I run on a set of Bulk TE37s with Nitto NT01 tires. These are fairly used, but they should still be good, even though they look like crap for another track weekend. After that, I'll likely retire those tires. Brake pads that I selected, I'm running Paragon R7s in the front. And guys, they were absolutely fantastic. A set of these for these calipers is $308 from Paragon. I used to run Ferodo DS 3.12s. They are $700, if not more, just for a set of front brake pads. I can tell you without a doubt, and in my opinion, that these were absolutely fantastic. The bite was there, the modulation was there, and they didn't absolutely tear up my rotors. So I have already ordered another set. It's difficult to see in here, but there's not much left. CMP is really, really, really hard on brakes. In the rear here, I'm running Paragon R5s. They were also fantastic. These are Gyrodisc rotors, and I actually reused these from my FK8. I still have yet to warp them. They have been absolutely fantastic, and they have at least been through probably 8, if not more, track days without any issues whatsoever. I will continue to run these and recommend them to all of my friends. let's also talk about what you should bring to the track. There are basic essentials that you need to be mindful of before you go to the track, and we'll review those here. I've set everything out that just the basic stuff. I do bring considerably more tools than I'm going to show in this video, but if you're a guy going out for the first time, you're not really sure what to do, not really sure what you're going to experience, this is the very basic stuff that you're going to need. One, a torque wrench. Make sure that you bring a torque wrench with you. You need to check your wheels after every session to make sure they're torqued. I also use this gun here, Milwaukee gun. It's just an easier way once I crack the lug nuts loose, like for example if I'm changing tires. This just helps get them on and off faster. Another important thing, microfiber towel and glass cleaner. I've cleaned some of the track grime up, but as you can see here on my front bumper, this is all molten rubber that hit the car, as well as bugs. That happens to the windshield. It does affect your vision, and you need to make sure that you do something about it between sessions. Another crucial tool, you need to check your air pressures, and you need to check them when you get off track. You want to see your hot pressures. If they're oh my god hot and the pressure is oh my god high, then it means that you need to start out at a lower cold pressure. Another important thing, simple tape. You can mask off parts of the car that you don't want damaged. For example, when I went out, I put them on my headlights. A jack, that's a no-brainer. Another thing, cooler. In my cooler, I've got Gatorades. You are going to get dehydrated out there, and if you allow that to happen, your mind slips. And the last thing that you want is to be on the track and your mind slips, you make a mistake, and you potentially get yourself into a situation where you cannot recover the car. This can also occur when you're hungry or tired. You need to be very, very, very mindful of your mindset before you go out on track. And if you are out on track and you start experiencing those issues, get off the track immediately, take care of yourself, and address that concern. Wheel chocks, these are super important because you should never ever ever use your e-brake or sit with the brakes on after you come off of a hot track. Your brakes are incredibly hot. You don't want them to weld themselves to the rotors. So I don't even leave the car in gear. I pull it wherever I'm going to pull it. I chalk the wheels, I get out, I pop the hood, let the car idle for a little bit, allow it to cool, then I'll shut it off and allow just heat in general to dissipate. This is an air pump. You'll need this before and after the track. It's a great tool to have. I absolutely love this Milwaukee unit that I bought. Keep in mind, my cold pressures on my NT01 tires for this past weekend were between 25 and 27, but when the car sits overnight and you come back to it the next day, they're going to be significantly lower than that, so you will need to pump them back up. Now, I always use the fuel pumps at the track, but I was at VIR several months ago and they experienced a power outage because of a storm. I was able to keep going because I had a pre-filled can of gasoline. So it's not a bad idea to have one of these with you. Another important thing, you're going to have somewhere to sit and relax between track sessions. Obviously, a chair of some sort. Socket set, also absolutely crucial should something break. Or if you need to make some fine adjustments. I always bring extra fluids. I personally use the RBF 660 brake fluid. I use Motul 300 V0820. I am considering possibly using the 5-weight-20 or 5-weight-30 in hotter temperatures. I always bring a little bit of extra coolant. In my situation, and again, this completely sucked, I did overheat the car. It did spit some coolant out of the puke tube, and I had that extra coolant so that I could top the car back off. Aside from that, there's really not a whole lot else if you're just going out for a basic track day. It's just minding the safety items. Do you have good tires? Do you have good brake fluid? Do you have good brakes? And one other thing of note that's also very important that I added to this car that is not easily seen in this video, I have stainless steel brake lines. Those are I ordered through Dream Automotive. They're made by Hell Performance, and they are absolutely crucial. Don't go out with factory lines. Don't go out with factory fluid. Don't go out with factory pads, and I certainly wouldn't risk going out with the factory tires. You're not going to run a great lap time on Pilot Sport 4S's, and you can get a set of Nittos like I use for around $1,200. It's worth the investment, and they last a good long time. Either way, I hope this helps any of you that are considering a track day, especially for guys that may be planning on going out for the first time. They're not really sure what to do. Again, I'm not a professional driver. I don't have sponsorships. I don't have a fancy selfie stick like Gridzilla does. I'm just a guy that enjoys going out to the track, having a great time, getting some great laps in, and getting some awesome point buys. I appreciate you watching. Please like and subscribe.